Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Well, first of all, thanks for being here. We've been getting a lot of calls, obviously, from the media here in Houston about what's going on in Austin, where they've had two additional mail bombings from packages, explosive devices and packages today. That's their third one in about 10 days. I've actually been in touch with Chief Brian Manley from the Austin Police Department. We talked when he first had his very first explosion, and now we spoke again today. I can tell the committee first and foremost that there's no known threats at this time to this AOR here in the Houston area. Having said that, we know that explosive devices being mailed through delivered through packages or through the mail over the years have occurred throughout our country and the world, and it's important for us to have a reminder of being vigilant. It's being vigilant in terms of when you receive packages, know whether or not you even are expecting a package. A lot of us shop online. We get a lot of items delivered to us. When you get a package, first question you need to ask yourself is, when you get a package, the first question you need to ask yourself is, am I expecting a package? If I'm expecting a package, what company am I expecting a package from? What normally would be their labeling? What does the label in the packaging looks like? A lot of us order food, we order clothing, we order just about everything through the mail, and I think one of the most important things we can do to protect ourselves, our families, and our businesses is to be aware of what I've ordered, if I've ordered something when a package arrives. When you look at a package, if you haven't ordered something, be suspicious of it. Pay close attention to it. If you don't believe, or you believe it's a suspicious package, or you're not sure about its contents, or are not sure if it's a safe package to actually handle yourself, just call 911. Let us come out and check it out. I can tell you that as far as the Austin investigation, speaking with Chief Manley of the Austin Police Department, they haven't been able to rule out whether it's a terrorism or whether it's a hate crime. I know that it appears that the victims in the households where these packages were dropped off have been African American and Hispanics, members of that community. And so again, this is a time for vigilance. It's a time to pay attention to what's being delivered at your house. It's a time for neighbors to pay attention when they see people dropping off packages. And obviously it's a time for ensuring that when a package is delivered to a residence, that we all just pay a little closer attention to who's delivering the package. If you have a Nest or some of those home security camera systems and you know somebody's delivering something, just hold on to that video just a little longer without deleting it, just in case we need it for investigative purposes. And so again, in terms of the city of Houston, there is no immediate known threat to the city of Houston, but because of the proximity to Austin, obviously there's a lot of questions coming in from you all in the media, and there's concern in this community. And quite frankly, when you think about the city of Houston, a lot of us have family and friends in Austin and vice versa. We are very much connected as cities. We're very much connected as communities, and our thoughts and prayers are obviously with all the people of Austin as they experience the third explosion in a matter of 10 days. And so with that, I don't have much further other than, again, it's due diligence and vigilance is really called for here in Houston as this investigation unfolds in the city of Houston, or the city of Austin, excuse me. And with that, I'll open up the questions from you all here.
Have you thought of, you mentioned the fact that the targets seem to be members of minority folks, but also South by Southwest, national event there, and you being a former police chief in Austin, do you have any insight to where our concern, our minds should fall at all in this?
I mean, our concern should be that you've had, three people three households that have been targeted with packages that contain explosive devices. That's food for thought for all of us, that we need to be vigilant. It's interesting that I've always made it a habit that when I see a package, and I don't know why I do it, but I always call my wife. I go, hey, are you expecting something? She's the one that actually does a lot of shopping online, and she actually knows the delivery schedule from the merchants that they use. And remember that the best thing to do is when you are ordering something and you are expecting packages, to track the package so you know when it's coming. I can tell you that you have verified mail process with the United States Postal Service, where you can actually verify your mail, and they will actually scan photos of all the mail that's going to be delivered to your home on any given day. Because as you recall, with the Unabomber back in the day, that who eluded police for many, many, many years, some of those were actually letter bombs. And so one of the things that I do in my residence that I would recommend people do is that sign up for verified mail with the Postal Service just to have an idea of what you should be getting. And again, be sure that you track packages when you sign up for any type of home delivery of any type of delivery at home. What else?
Do you know if they're increasing security at South by?
I know the security's always increased at South by. And again, so far the targets haven't been any kind of event related to South by. These have actually been residences throughout Austin. And again, I don't want to speak for the city of Austin, but I can tell you, having been there for almost a decade, that their law enforcement footprint is pretty heavy throughout the city during the South by or any other special event. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Chief, you mentioned the need to be vigilant, but also the fact that there haven't been any threats here in Houston thus far. Fine line, of course, between just watching out for what you may have ordered, what you may not have ordered, and calling police, as opposed to being scared. Just walk us through that nuance. And what you need to do.
Look, we live in a world today where there's a lot of threats, right? I mean, there's threats from overseas extremists, over homegrown extremists. There are threats from gun violence. There are threats from coming at us from just everyday crime. I don't think that you have to be paranoid. I don't think you need to live in fear. But I think that you have to, we live in a time in the history of not just our country, but of planet Earth where civilized society is constantly being attacked by just bad people. And so understanding that the potential exists is part of everyday life. So you just got to pay attention, be situationally aware, and again, if something doesn't seem right or a package seems suspicious or something you didn't order and you're not sure about it, give us a call so we can come out and check it out.
Can you talk a little bit about, in situations like this, what kind of federal resources are involved and how you guys are all sharing information on the backside?
Yeah, I can tell you, I've actually talked to NYPD today. That we've been in touch with NYPD. They called me from that shop. Law enforcement throughout the country, when these things happen, talk to one another. We reach out to one another. We try to look at and provide one another with any intelligence we possibly can in terms of any similarities between the three incidents in the city of Austin. We work with our federal partners with the FBI. I know that Chief Manley and the Austin Police Department are working with the FBI and the Bureau of ATF, the Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, which has taken the federal lead. And I can almost assure you that the FBI will send a response team from Washington. When you have 3 explosions, 2 in one day and 3 within a 10-day period, I guarantee you that a lot of federal assets are moving into that AOR. Anything else?
As far as the packaging, I don't know if you can speak directly to if there were similarities between the packages or if there's any sort of red flags that our viewers can be aware of.
You know,
maybe indicate that this package is.
Yeah, I don't want to speak specifically about the packages. I want to be respectful of the investigation of the Austin Police Department. I will say this to our community. We all usually use the same vendors when we order packages, right? Everybody has their favorite vendor they order from. Be familiar with the packaging. Be familiar with the markings. Be familiar with the artwork. Be very familiar with what you are used to receiving at home. And if it doesn't seem familiar to you, it seems odd, look for return addresses, look for the type of postage that's on there, if it's mailed in the mail. Those are the things that you should be looking for. Look at who it's addressed to, how it's addressed. But again, to me, the most important piece for you and for the community is know who you're dealing with, know who you order from, and know what looks normal to you. Because a lot of times we don't pay attention to details. If you pay attention to details to the packaging that you're used to getting, the packages you're used to receiving, and are familiar with those details, that's really critical. So the day that you get a package that is out of the norm or doesn't match your actual what you're used to and accustomed to, hopefully it'll stand out very, very much to you and your family.
We're moving out of the department store age and kind of going to this online ordering age. mail service is going to grow in the years, do you see this possibly becoming a bigger problem and sort of a norm in the future?
Yeah, I hope not. And you know, quite frankly, we're all thinking that this was actually delivered by delivery service, and there's a good chance it wasn't even delivered by delivery service. I don't know. I don't have the details. But obviously, we have a lot of things, a lot of cargo, a lot of things that are mailed worldwide, including here in Houston, throughout the country, and again, worldwide. And so it's an issue that's come up before. This is nothing new in terms of mail bombs, whether it's explosive devices in packages or in envelopes or in letters. It just, again, requires us to be vigilant. I always tell people, and when we train our own mail room, to look at you got to look at all of and pay really close attention to normal packaging, normal mailings, normal envelopes, so you can recognize those that may be odd or different or may have some telltale signs that you should treat it as a suspicious package.